The Treasury will have a sense of relief, along with a bit of a sense of dread, as the UK very narrowly avoided recession, but was also then slapped with a £2.3 billion fine paid to the EU over an old dispute over Chinese imports.
And industrial action shows no sign of slowing as the RMT reject their latest settlement offer.
OK, let's talk to former UKIP Deputy Chair Suzanne Evans, who joins us now. Morning to you. Look, can we ask about this fine? First, because you've got to have a view on that one.
It's interesting, isn't it? You do wonder if we've left the European Union, we're not paying our £350 million every day to the EU anymore. So are they going to fine us in other ways? But I think we also have to remember
But this is to do with stuff from years ago,
It's to do with stuff from years ago, but nonetheless, they're never going to let us go quietly, and I think this is another example of that. But it's also got to be said that, you know, the Treasury has agreed to pay this fine in order to settle the dispute and draw a line under it, and I guess that's what we have to do.
What did you make of Jeremy Hunt's comments yesterday? We narrowly escaped a recession, still not out of the woods now maybe some pay offers on the table, but we've also had a rejection from the RMT. What do you make of it all?
So it's interesting, isn't it? So Andrew Bailey, the Bank of England governor, was giving evidence to the Treasury Select Committee after interest rates were raised for the 10th consecutive month earlier in the week, and he kind of hinted that we were coming to the end of this cycle of interest rate rises. The sort of general expectation, I think, is that they're going to go up to 4.5%, and then that will have done the job in terms of the monetary policy idea that you hike interest rates to put a cap on inflation. So I think what Jeremy Hunt was saying yesterday was really that he was in line with the Bank of England's thinking. He was saying that, yes, inflation is coming down, but we're not out of the woods yet. We narrowly avoided recession. Very interesting. The markets yesterday didn't take heart from that. The markets, the stock markets fell yesterday. It was almost as though we might as well have gone into recession, given their behaviour yesterday.
But don't we need to bear in mind with the markets, at least? I mean, they hit record highs last week.
They did, indeed.
So, but
yes.
that almost seems to slip under the radar. I mean, that's actually very positive. It's very positive for investors, but I mean, investors often include pension funds and things like that.
Absolutely, and I think people forget this. You know, sometimes there's a kind of anti-market feeling, but yes, it does support many private pensions and public sector pensions as well, of course. So where are we? So Jeremy Hunt also hinted yesterday that he might be able to look at again at public sector pay rises. But I find it very interesting that the MPs have been given a 2.9% pay rise, which compared to some of the demands from nurses, from ambulance workers, from train drivers is very moderate when you look at it in that context. And obviously MPs don't set their own pay rises. It's set by the Independent Parliamentary Standards Authority, and they've decided 2.9% is fair. But I think it's a quite clever political tool as well, because that makes it much harder now for other people to demand high pay rises.
That's interesting, though, because, of course, IPSA would say, well, we're not political.
Of course they would.
We're absolutely not political.
Of course they would, but isn't it fortuitous?